tuned in to Seattle Connected, the show that connects you, with entrepreneurs, business people, movers and shakers in our community, letting you know who they are first, like I always do, before they become household names, which we know they soon will be. Today's guest, wow, this woman is incredible. She knows how to write what she feels. She feels what she writes. She's a mom, a teacher, an entrepreneur, an activist, a good friend, someone with a big heart, and she's always willing to share. Plus, she's here to help you be the best person that you can be and express yourself. And that way, maybe you can help others express themselves. It's all about the positivity and the love. Please welcome my friend, the amazing Kweli Vuur. How was that? How was the intro?
Perfect.
Was it okay?
Yes, it was good. Thank you very much.
Thank you for showing up.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I know you're a very, very busy woman, and I'm glad that you made time out for my small platform. So thank you for showing up.
I'm happy to be here, David, anytime. You have a lovely place here.
Well, thank you. I'm going to hold you to that. You said anytime. I'm going to hold you to that, my friend. Now, I'm going to ask you like I always ask my guests, but I can just, you have a certain vibe. Are you a Washingtonian, born and raised? Yeah.
No, I'm born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix?
Yes.
You know what I think?
Hot Phoenix.
I think you're probably the first guest I've had to be from Phoenix.
Interesting, because when I came here, I found that there's a lot of people who go back and forth or who have family back there, or snowbirds. They have a home out there and a home out here.
Right.
So I have aunties, cousins, and uncles in Phoenix, and then I have my mom, my brothers and sisters out here. So
okay.
I've been here for 10 years, but
Okay.
then I was here a little while as a child too. So back and forth.
Back and forth and back. Do you miss Phoenix?
I don't.
There's nothing wrong with that. We're glad you're here.
It's hot, you know.
Yes, very.
When I went back to visit, not only was it hot, but I forgot about the wind just blowing a layer of dirt.
Yeah, that's, something to, you don't want to get used to. You're like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. But I will go back when I retire, I believe, probably pick a cooler spot in Arizona.
Yeah.
But it is the retirement state. It is beautiful. They have beautiful $1 million homes up there. You know, celebrities go up there.
So you bought 3. Right.
I will be able to.
There you go.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put it in the universe. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you've been here 10 years consistently. And this is home now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We're glad to have you here.
Yes.
I would like to know what brought you to Washington.
So I lived here when I was younger. And I remember when my brothers and sisters and I were like coming out here, the first thing we noticed was the trees.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were on like the Greyhound and we were just looking up, at the windows to try and see the top of the trees. And, Arizona has trees, but they're a lot smaller. Just the beautiful greenery out here is, as a writer, it is very inspiring and refreshing. So
It's easy for you to write.
Yes, it's easier to write, and things just move a little quicker out here. People go back home to like slow down.
Yeah.
So
Okay. When was the last time you went to Phoenix?
it's been 5 years, so I'm due for another visit.
Okay. Yeah, before you start having the family that you have down there, like, oh, you can't come see us, or it's been X amount of years. It's been 12 years. You're like, no, it's been 5. Well, it feels like it's been 12. Our family is, but that's cool. Sometimes it's good to go visit, kind of soak everything in, and then, all right, now I'm ready to go home.
Right.
So that's cool. That's what's up. And I had to compliment you on your amazing footwear.
Thank you.
Very cute, and they look comfortable.
Thank you.
I hope they are. If not, at least they go with your outfit, right?
No, they're comfortable. I love them.
Yeah, those are dope. Now, Miss Writer, because you slid that in early, you were like, as a writer. How did you start writing beyond, hey, I know how to write my name? Like, when did you really get into the field of writing and felt like this was my thing?
Mm-hmm. Well, I was in fourth grade, and I remember that's when we were learning about poetry and the different forms. Mm. And I had a friend who, well, she wasn't a friend of me, but we were definitely in competition with each other. Uh-oh. And so we, competed against each other with how many poems we could write. And that's how I ended up with 306 poems in the fourth grade. We were very competitive, and I knew I loved poetry when I wasn't chosen. She was actually chosen to represent our class in a competition.
And you put hands on her?
No, I didn't, but I did have a meltdown, and the teacher sent me outside of the class, and I was having a meltdown outside the class because I was not chosen. So,
were you a big talker as a kid? Were you like always have something on your mind you wanted to share?
That's so funny that you asked that. I thought that was so funny.
Like, were you that kid?
I mean,
I know I was that kid.
I liked to talk, but I think the reason I started writing was a way to channel my creativity. I was more of a loner, except for like maybe being competitive in the classroom. Right. And so it was just a way for me to express myself. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing with the power of words. They literally can move mountains. You can take someone who is not shy but quiet, kind of keep to themselves, but just like the most vocal person in the room, they have a lot to say. And they just channel it in a different way. So I think that's why I fell in love with writing, and plus the attention I got from the young ladies in my classes back in the day.
Oh, you were a writer too?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you were writing the ladies' poetry.
Hey, allegedly. 6th grade. I was the man. But anyway, so it's cool because I think when it comes to writing, there's no limits, there's no boundaries. You can talk about your own life, things you would like to experience. You could be a voice for someone else, and I think writing is also an outlet to kind of be the voice for others. You know what I mean? Speak on issues that otherwise might be ignored. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to talk about my own version of the news or what's happening, and I'm going to do it in this art form. And it might touch a few hearts that normally wouldn't pay attention to what's on the news or in the newspapers or whatever, or something happening locally. So yeah, man, that's dope. I love the power of word.
Yeah.
Dee Poetic Soul.
Dee Poetic Soul.
One more time.
Dee Poetic Soul. And it's so funny that you said that, because one of the ways that I assist others is by, creating meaningful content. So a poem can enhance your event, right? It really drives the message home because, we can look at a chart, we can hear the statistics, we can even, reflect on what's going on, if somebody's giving a report, but to have it in an art form like poetry or storytelling, it really puts people in a different headspace to, vision themselves in that story, to hear it portrayed with the emotion, with the senses. So, yeah.
How many poems would you say you've written?
I don't know.
Ballpark.
So, 306 in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
My poems got thrown away.
Ooh.
Incidentally, because I didn't shout it out to my family or anything. It was just my thing. And my drawer got just thrown away. And so I stopped writing for years. I picked it back up in the 8th grade because I was super bored.
Yeah.
And that was actually my first poem/story. Like, I knew I wanted it to be a story instead of just a poem, right?
Right.
And so anyway, as an adult, of course, I'm not writing, 5 little haikus and this and that. Right. So it's gotten really slower, more intentional. they're more like bodies of work, right? And so if I had to guess in my adulthood, it's only been 20 to 25 poems, but they're very impactful.
I was going to say, well, don't say only, because I think it's more about what you're saying.
Right.
You know, I think it's about the statement that you're making within the poem. You could also think of that 20 or 25, it's like you writing your own screenplay. You know, it's not about having the most product out there. It's about what that product stands for and what's behind it.
Right.
You know, so those 20 or 25 might resonate more with me than someone who is writing 25 in a week. You know, so do tell. Do you write about what's happening in your life, or just whatever moves you at the moment? Do you ever force yourself to write?
I do. So, you know, because I realized you have to, like, it's almost like meditation. You have to give yourself time to be in a zone. You know, there are times where a poem can come as a full download, and it can be very insightful. There's other times where it's taken, you know, a few months just to add on to it, leave it alone, meditate, and come back to it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It really depends.
Yeah. I have a question for you. I heard about there's an event coming up. You gotta, no, don't be all like, man. No, just tell me, tell me about it, because when I heard about it, it was pretty cool. And then I'd reached out, I was like, oh, do tell, like, that sounds so dope. So what do you have coming up in short amount of time?
So I have an event called A Mother is Healing. Okay. And it's a pre-Mother's Day healing event.
Shout out to the mothers.
Yes. So Mother's Day is on the 11th. We're having the event on the 5th. And it just gives us some time to review, you know, how we were mothered, who or what we're currently mothering into the community, and our capacity to mother ourselves. Now, it really came about because of the relationship between me and my own mother. You know, there was a time where I called her on Mother's Day and she didn't call back, or she didn't answer. Right. And I felt that, you know, I might have been the only one, you know, out of all my brothers and sisters who got that treatment. And so my youngest sister created an environment where we can have game night. Right. And so other than that, I probably would not see my mom, you know, because our relationship was fractured. I didn't meet her until I was 9. And so we never really became that close. And so anyhow, when I showed up, because my brothers and sisters knew how our relationship was, and I can't remember if they knew that the whole thing about missing the phone call, but it was tense when I walked in my sister's house and my mom was sitting at the table. It was very tense. And instead of me arguing about it, I just decided in that moment that I was going to enjoy my mom, and that I was just going to do my best to enjoy this time with her. And I decided that because I had chosen to heal, because I had chosen to move on and have peace, that was going to be my position. So when I reached my mom at the table, I walked over to her and I said, hey, Mom, you know, you missed my love. I called you on Mother's Day. I love you. And I gave her a hug. And that was that. And I think it was a real powerful change in my approach. Instead of saying, hey, you know, I called you on Mother's Day, you didn't call me back.
Yeah.
You know,
what was her response? Why she
just said, oh, and she said, I love you too, and gave me a hug.
It wasn't intentional.
Well, I mean, whether it was or not, I decided not to argue about it.
You know what I think was really special with you saying that? As you were telling that story, I was thinking, here you are as a mother showing that motherly love towards your own mom. You know, you could have nitpicked or been all standoffish at the door, but, you know, you're like, there's bigger things in life. You know, yeah, for that moment I felt away, but this is still my mom, and everything that I've been able to share with her up to this point, it outweighs that one moment when I felt a way about her not returning my call. So, I think maybe you being a mother yourself, that might have played a part in it. You know what I mean? Just maybe that's just me thinking.
Yeah, no. I have a 19-year-old, and we've gone through some things, and I've had to intentionally meditate on, forgiveness, and because we can have a charge against our parents, but our parents can have a charge against us as well, but what I can say is that day we played games and we exchanged laughs that, number one, if my sister hadn't created that safe space, that environment for everyone to come, and if I had not chosen to just not be in arguing and be at peace, I would not have had that interaction with my mom, because that's how, fractured the relationship had become, But it's really evolved, and it's been in the most peaceful way. And I just wanted an event where women can review collectively, because I've had women there who they have a great relationship with their mom. And it's really not about the individual. It's about, what does our collective heart look like? What do we look like collectively as mothers? Where are we collectively as mothers? Because if one person is having a hard time, then there needs to be a place where we can come together and acknowledge that, and so that the women who have, a successful, healthy relationship can exchange ideas, exchange, insights and motivations, and the different ways that we can go about things, the different ways that we can see things. So.
And is this the first year for this event?
This is the second annual Mothers Healing event.
How was it last year?
It was beautiful. It was a very small group, but it was a powerful group. And we started a little late, like 7:30 or 8, but we didn't get out of there until like 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, we're not doing that this year.
What?
Because this year we're creating a space for the children to be able to come, because, some people have children, but it just speaks to how comfortable we felt. And women did receive healing, I created this healing exercise that we go through. And like I said, it reviews how we've been mothered, who or what we're currently mothering, and our capacity to mother ourselves. And then through that activity, whatever comes up for the women, we have 2 queen mothers this year. Last year we had 1, but we have Nana Kibibi Monet, and we have Mother Patricia Valentine serving as our queen mothers. They are our elders, and so whatever comes up from that activity, we actually take it into a healing circle to close out the event. And each woman, talks about what came up for her. And then we have a healing mantra. It's a mantra that basically reminds each woman that she has chosen to forgive. She's chosen to heal. She's chosen to move on, right? And so after she says what came up for her in the healing activity, the Queen Mother responds to her with some words of wisdom. She says her mantra, and then she receives her gift. So if you think about it, it's preparing women to give and receive in a more abundant, reciprocal way on Mother's Day. We're giving and receiving throughout the entire event. And that's what people don't realize, that on Mother's Day, maybe my mother wasn't in a place where she could be receptive to me. On Mother's Day, maybe we're not able to give our mothers that love that we wish we could, because of whatever fracture that has happened in the relationship.
Wow, that's deep. I think it says a lot when you can bring together some people that may be strangers to one another and create a space where it's safe for them to just open up so they can heal. Sometimes in our community, the way to handle things is by not handling things.
Right.
And hoping that it goes away, or saying you're fine, but then you hold this resentment for someone in your heart for so long, to the point where you might even forget why you're upset at this person. What's the, root reason of why you're upset? And they might not have any clue. Mm-hmm. And I think having these sort of spaces with no judgment, it's so needed. Mm-hmm. And I think we need to have more of that. So the mothers coming after you and your own children, they have that example. Mm-hmm. They see that it's okay, because you guys are mothers, and there's so many pressures in the world, and especially being mothers of color, but you guys still aren't perfect.
Right.
And there's so many expectations, and sometimes you need to kind of break down so you can build back up and heal. So, I applaud you for that. That's awesome. So you said it's not going to be from 1 in the morning. It's going. You said it's going to 3 in the morning.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Open bar.
No.
Oh man.
We had a really good time, and it's so funny because even when you come to the space and you're like, oh no, nothing. My parents couldn't have done nothing better. I love them.
Yeah.
You discover things that you were holding on to that you were unaware. So maybe you wish they watched the health more, because maybe you would have had them for longer, like little stuff like that. And so yeah, this year we're going to stay on time because we have children in this space. Yeah. And but I believe we're going to have a very insightful moment with each other, and I just wish for every woman to experience it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is the what's the rules and regulations? Like, who can attend? Is it you have to know somebody, you have to slip the doorman some money, or because you said I can be the doorman. So.
Right. Yeah. I've invited you to come out to the event.
Be jealous, y'all. Be jealous. Yep.
Do a
not
little
even
bit.
A mother. Yep. Yeah.
Right. Do a little bit of, media coverage.
Yes, I got this.
We would love to have you there.
Well, thank you. I'll wear something nice. Do I need to wear a tux?
No, not a tux.
Okay, I have a tux.
No.
So I have to get
women
down.
like to look good, so we may be, dressed in our, not Sunday's best, but maybe just a step down,
Okay.
But yeah, it's for mothers. It's for mothers.
Yeah.
It's for daughters. You do not have to have a child. Whatever we are putting into the community, be it just a program, it's something that you have to nurture and you have to grow until its completion. So it's really about what are you currently mothering into the community. And so, but yeah, it's mainly women in this space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's going to be a even bigger turnout this year. Mm-hmm. And I think you're going to see some familiar faces from last year.
Right.
And, it's just like one of my first managers told me, where was I? I think I was working at Jack in the Box or something. And don't judge me.
Hey, my first job was Taco Bell.
Don't judge me.
I think I had a nightmare with that.
But
in the middle of the night, I was like, would you like to order a new cheesy bean and rice burrito?
You were like, oh, that means I'm doing too much work. I'm dreaming about this.
Right.
But my manager, I remember he was telling me about customer service, and he said, if you give someone bad customer service, they're going to tell 10 people. Mm-hmm. You give them good customer service, they're going to tell 10 people. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what the attendees from last year's event, they're going to tell some friends, and I bet you some of those people are going to come with someone else.
Right.
Because they had a good time, and that's so awesome. Do you ever thinking about making this like a beyond Mother's Day thing? Maybe like a few times a year or quarterly or?
No, I think it's so perfect.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Didn't mean to say it like that. She's like, no, I like it the way it is.
Yes. In fact, through Dee Poetic Soul, I created Soulful Connections. Mm-hmm. And so I also had a healing singles mix and mingle event, right? Okay. So it's a singles event, and I'm actually letting that go, hoping that someone takes that on and creates a space for singles to heal and connect and not have to, hide it as a cookout party or anything. Like, intentionally have a healing event. But this event, A Mother is Healing, is so well thought through, and like I said, I went into meditation on what I can do to impact women all in one, event. And I just think it's perfect the way it is. Every mother should review and prepare herself to give and receive on Mother's Day.
Yeah. And I wasn't throwing any shade. I'm sure it's a perfect event. I was just saying that I think that's so awesome. And, even if the mothers there can attend and maybe take some of those tools that they received and use it throughout the year, that would be awesome. I wanted to ask you, how important do you feel that it is for mothers to support other mothers? Because I'm assuming, and I have to say I assume because I'm not a mother, but I did have a mother. She was black too. Shout out to my mom.
Hey,
Sometimes mothers might feel like they're being judged by other mothers, or they're held to a certain, oh, this mom was like this, I'm supposed to be perfect like this, or that mother, and not knowing that mother goes through their own trials and tribulations just like every other mother. How important do you feel like it is for mothers to not shame but support each other?
I think it's immensely important to have a community of mothers that are willing to come together and review, these three main things, right? And the most important reason is because, number one, you got to remember the exercise, we're reviewing what we believe how we believe we were mothered. So it is very subjective. Okay. As a mother, I can, tell my child that, no, I gave you the best that I could, with the tools that I had. Or I could believe that I actually gave them what they're saying that they subjectively believe they didn't get. Yeah. So it's not really about shaming or blaming any mother. It's reviewing your experience. And we know that it's a subjective experience because we could have 4 siblings grow up in the same house and have a totally different relationship with the same parent. Right. And a lot of it is people needing the tools. A lot of it is sharing a different perspective. And it's just coming together in community and having the conversation that also brings up things that you didn't even know. So yeah, I think it's very important for us to share that, because what if a relationship is fractured? Yeah. Well, now, unless they go to therapy, where are they going to have that conversation?
And support each other.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's important. You have any siblings?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm the second oldest of 8,
I was
actually.
going to ask. Okay. Are you your parents' favorite?
I am not.
I was waiting for you to give that answer like we're all their favorite. Okay, you sure?
I'm the rebel,
Oh, there you go.
I'm the truth
See?
teller.
That's why she didn't answer the phone. See that? She saw you, was like, decline. I'm good. Yeah. No, I was just wondering how you and your siblings kind of support each other as far as being parents.
Well, so remember, there was the war on drugs, right? And where a lot of families were broken up. And so I didn't meet my mom until I was 9. I didn't meet my father. I still don't know my father or have a relationship with my father. So when you say that, like in the Black community, it's just different, right? So I was one of those households that was affected by that whole breaking up of families. And so I was raised predominantly with my aunt and uncle. And even my brothers and sisters that I have out here, I grew up separate from them. And so I was only in their lives for a shorter period of time compared to the time they had with each other. So I think that's why it's even more important, you know, for Black mothers to get together and to have this conversation, because there are so many layers to our dynamics.
Yeah. And I always say on this show, and I truly mean it, Black women are superheroes. Mm-hmm. There's nothing I haven't seen them go through that they weren't able to persevere and live to tell the story and help others along the way. Mm-hmm. You know, and I noticed that with my own mother. My father passed, so I don't really have like memories of him. I was like so little, and then it was just me, my mom, and my brother. And I had two older siblings, and they didn't live with us. So my mom was like, she was the centerpiece. She was the rock. She was everything, right? Mm-hmm. And not until I became an adult did it really hit, like, this person did a lot, mm-hmm. you know? And the big thing about that was they did a lot, and they always put themselves after mm-hmm. everyone else's needs, right? Mm-hmm. And so that made me have a certain appreciation for what moms go through, because at times I think it can be a thankless job, mm-hmm. you know, the kind of job that you do and you're not expecting a thank you or this type of praise, but you still do it mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. and hold your head up high. So I salute you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And those earrings are really nice.
Thank you very much.
I noticed that as you were talking, the way the lights hitting them, it's like ding, 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 ding. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, look at you showing out now. But that's an awesome event. So what is the, so that's on May 5th?
It's on May 5th.
May 5th, what time?
From 4 to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're having it at It's Never Too Early to Create and Innovate. So N2E, it's actually a store that is for young entrepreneurs. So when you first walk in the door, you'll see all their little business hubs in the storefront. But there's a beautiful event space there, and they are sponsors for the event. So I'm really happy to shout them out. Yeah.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That sounds like fun, man. I know it's going to be a good time. Mm-hmm. And I'll make sure I'll dress right and mm-hmm. be on time.
Yeah.
I got you.
And it's catered.
Yes.
Catered by Chef Darrell.
One more time.
Chef Darrell will be our caterer.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I want to throw you on the spot mm-hmm. because you're a writer. Can you give the people at home a little something? Just something. It doesn't have to be any of your 435 poems you said you did in the 4th grade. But if there's anything that you can recite for the people at home and myself, I would greatly appreciate it. Please. Please.
Okay. So I will. So at the event, I will be doing a message of healing. And the message of healing is actually a poem called A Mother is Healing. And it's really encouraging women to take a moment to do some healing work before Mother's Day. Okay? So the poem goes, "But if you cannot speak life unto your mother, you are lost. Only one healed can bring light to anyone or anything worthy of healing. Sister, did you know that where you came from deserves healing? So actively do the acts of healing, because it's a fact that feelings won't mean much when she's gone. And you'd be surprised if you long to have had better moments with a woman who only wished to know love. No, she didn't know, but she needed to know and understand love, just like you, sister. So we let God be the judge. 'Cause we are all but an echo of the women who have been. And through you, the chance of a more perfect mother still lives. Let's just hope that despite the world and all of its disincentives, that you can do a little better than she did. Because we are the hopes, the wishes, the dreams, and the downfalls of the women we love. But we are not mindful enough to understand if we have the strength enough to do the healing it takes to look upon our own mothers with love. Dear mother, I can't fault you in mid-process. But I hope you move forward, and I hope you make progress. Dear mother, through it all, my soul is at peace, and I am willing to hold each and every thought of you with a loving feeling. Dear mother, I do understand that you too are just healing. Thank you.
Wow. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Oh,
Happy Mother's Day.
That was awesome. That was very, very great. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing about this event.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be awesome. And if people would like to get in touch with you, how can they, just give you a virtual high five, or just,
Okay.
just if they want to stay up to date on what you have going on and just show that support, how can they reach out to you?
Yes, if you would like to sign up for the event or be a sponsor to make sure that we keep having this annual event, you can follow me at Kweli, that's Kweli, Vuur, V as in Victor, UUR, on Instagram or on Facebook. You can also go to my website, www.deepoeticsoul.com.
Yes. Any shout outs? No.
No, I want to thank everyone, thank all of my sponsors.
She's like, no shout outs. I want to shout out me for the work I'm doing.
No, I mean, thank all my sponsors and the Queen Mothers and everyone who came together to make this event possible.
Yes. And I would like to thank you not only for stopping by, but listen, I keep telling you guys, you got to step it up with the gifts. Come on. Future guests, take note. I'm not against receiving gifts. Come on, I appreciate it, but it came from the heart. I didn't ask for it, but I will gladly accept it. So thank you. And past guests, too. You can still step your game up, too. Send me a message on Instagram. Come on. We got to stop this foolishness. Kweli, thank you so much. And for everything that you're not only doing for mothers, but you're doing for the community. And what I really like is you're not just a person of words. You write these beautiful words, but there's action behind the words. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I look forward to working with you in the future. And please, you always have a home in Seattle Connected. I don't tell everyone that, but I mean it when it comes to you. So thank you so much, Kweli.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you. And as always, it's important to take care of others, but please make sure you take time to take care of yourself. Until next time, stay connected. Peace.